can you say something now?
Something now. Okay, you have my full attention. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna just nod vigorously at whatever you're saying and keep using my phone and behave like that's not rude at all.
Looks like we have a big problem.
Because this little device right here that can fit in my pocket, maybe rest in the palm of my hand, has the ability to either really drastically improve my life or completely destroy it.
The phone, in my opinion, became something like an appendage to the body.
But then imagine suddenly, like, I'd hear his phone vibrate, like whatever, instantly pick it up, and then would proceed to turn his head away and then just look. So now, like, let's say you're talking to me, I would just pick it up, turn around and be like, oh, keep swiping. And that's such a reflexive behavior to that, where it's like just simply boom, notification, click, without even thinking, pick up phone, instantly swipe it. And to me, that looks like you're getting addicted right now.
You might think about, okay, well, I'm going to be on the phone for 8 hours, and this is 8 hours, or maybe not 8, not so dramatic, but 2 hours, 4 hours a day, and then you are on the phone for 4 hours a day. So that's your attention and the lifetime during the day spent on the phone instead of other activities.
I think nowadays it's all of the time. All of the time, like even now when, let's say, you're in a restaurant, everyone has their phones out, you know, flipped up, waiting to get the nearest notification, waiting to quickly check up, or just even when people are waiting, nowadays they'll just be like, pop up phone, okay, kill time, rather than do something with time.
I realized that I've been spending too much time on the phone without controlling the usage of the phone by me, and that posed a problem.
Nowadays, that engagement can just be applied in a 1-minute video, yet you watch 200 different 1-minute videos in the span of 2 hours. So now, instead of watching a 2-hour movie where you're like, oh, that was great, I remember this part of the movie, I remember that part of the movie. Now you have 200 completely different fragmented ideas, none of which relate to each other, none of which has any ambiguation to who you are. It's just completely sent by an algorithm showing which you engage most with. Yet, it's designed to trigger an emotional response. So now, let's say you're swiping, oh, here's a video of a guy dumping his dog in the road and abandoning him. Emotional response right there. Oh, you're now angry. Man dumped dog. Quickly must comment. Oh, must project anger towards this man in the comment. Yet, that bottledness is being carried. Now multiplied by 200. Because you're watching 200 different videos over and over and over again. Imagine the toll that takes in your mind. Simply after doing that, you feel tired, you will feel exhausted, you will feel stressed. And that's supposed to be a form of entertainment or stimulus. Yet it's the wrong kind of stimulus. It's the stimulus that gets you angry. So all fired up. Oh, I've seen this bad thing today. Yet because I've seen this bad thing today and I've done no good, that makes me a good person. Yes. Scroll again.
Considering the past time in our history, let's say in the 1800s, for instance, people didn't have any mobile phones, and still they were able to live happy lives. They were able to engage into the meaningful activities without whipping out the phone every minute and trying to entertain themselves.
Especially for trying to get rid of this addiction. The first step, I feel like it would sound cheesy, but would be acknowledging it, would be going into you know how your phone has this thing where you get to see how much time you spend using it and what apps you end up using the most. If you have that turned off, turn it on, go through your week normally. I challenge you to be able to look at how much time you spend in these apps and then say, okay, what could I have done differently with that time spent? And I know many people are going to say, well, it's just the time spent every here and there. maybe when I'm at work, or maybe when I'm waiting for the bus to arrive. That time still applies. Doesn't matter. Don't kill time. Make time. Use time.
For example, from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., I'm not going to check any notifications on the phone unless it is something urgent. But I can definitely spend about 10 hours of my day from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. without using any fun applications on the phone. So that was a great step. Yes, it was associated with some sort of pushback from my brain saying, hey, you need to check the phone, you need to check all those fun apps and notifications. And I had the urge to check the phone, but I was able to confront it by saying to myself, I will be better off if I hold for 10 hours from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. without looking at the phone.
Anything non-essential, just get rid of notifications completely. And then something I found very useful for me is specific times of the day where I'm completely free and I just finally completed everything and completed rest. I'd be like, oh, okay, let me just check what's up there. Oh, okay, funny memes, funny videos from friends. These are great, always great to have. You don't need to have your phone ring up every 2 seconds to get that. You can set times to do that rather than moving things out of the way to place them as a priority. These aren't priorities. Don't let this little device control how you live your life, yet use it to be able to optimize everything you can.
This is very liberating because that way, yes, I felt maybe a little bit sad that I didn't have access to the phone at all times, right? So, but eventually, after some time, perhaps around 3 weeks, it became a habit, or maybe just after 1 week. That was good because the brain realized, okay, well, I just got rid of one other thing to keep my attention on, and this is pretty amazing.
Hold yourself accountable to your phone. Overdoing it, just overdoing anything has downfalls to it. And before you know it, reading one page in a book, you'll find yourself immediately flipping to your phone simply because it's a reflexive behavior now. And you want to be able to catch those things before it turns instinctual, before it becomes something where you pick up your phone and start to scroll and say, wait, I don't remember thinking that I wanted to do it. I just did it. I've seen that a lot these days, and it's becoming a scary path where this looks like it can head towards.
Once I phased out the excessive usage of the phone from my life, I was able to regain my attention span. And it was a gradual build-up. Yes, maybe I was able to read one page at a time without the pause. And then I had to pause and get to my phone, right? Or do something else. So because the brain had that sort of constant distraction pathway ingrained into itself. However, as I was practicing the abstination from the phone, things became better.
Phone addiction, just like any other addiction, you have withdrawal symptoms, you have overuse symptoms. And for this newfound era addiction, the phone addiction, you overuse it, you feel too stimulated, that another form of stimulus maybe won't even have the same effect that it normally does. When you start to notice that, take some time off. Like a cigarette smoker would want to quit smoking cigarettes. Going cold turkey might make the relapse even worse. So instead, let's say when he buys its pack of cigarettes, take one, throws one out. Next one, it will be throw 2 out. Next one, it will be throw 3 out. Until it reaches to the point where you just have one left, and then you throw that out. You've completely and smoothly gotten it out of your system.
Now that I can sit down, read 10 pages at a time, that's great. This is like an exercise to build that attention span. Guess what? I can use this engorged attention span in other activities, such as, for example, I can go to the gym and learn some sort of exercise. To do that, I'll need to concentrate on the instructor, for example, showing this particular exercise, right? Then I need to myself go through the motions, and then this, for sure as hell, will require some attention span and focus. It's not going to be 15 seconds, right? It's going to be most likely several minutes, maybe even an hour, maybe hours on end, depending on the kind of seriousness of the activity that you do. It also applies to studies, it applies to work processes. It's always good to be able to focus, to have attention span, and be focused on the task, to do it in the best possible way to achieve success in this task. Then later on, this success will be used as a building block that you can use somewhere else to advance your life. That first hour of being awake you spend on the phone, you miss out on many of those other fun activities, but what is more, those activities oftentimes are also vital for you to be productive, to be a good member of society, to have a great life, whatever it might be. You just simply don't do them because you are on the phone. And then for me it was the time, okay, well, should I really spend that hour, the first hour being awake, not on the routine but on scrolling on the phone? And my answer was a resounding no. Let's get rid of the phone for the first hour in the morning and then engage into some fundamental, vital, important activities to set yourself up for the success during the day. This episode was sponsored by nothing and nobody. However, we want to express gratitude to Mental Toughness. It was supported by coffee and inspirational European cups for coffee.
We are counting on you to improve your life.